Hello and welcome back to today's episode of Today in Quarantine. My name is Renee Cross and coming to you live from here in Lincoln, Nebraska, um, where it is Monday, May 11th, and this is episode 52. Now, 52 is an interesting number. It's 4 times 13, um, right? Right. 4 times 13. It's also the number of weeks that we're in a year. So, if every day of this podcast had been a week long, this would be 2021, which is crazy. Anyway, that's just a speculation that I should probably not continue my thought stream with. Um, but it's actually, anyway, 52 is a great number. Check out more facts about it. 2 times 26. One of those other prime numbers times a prime number. That's 26, not 52. So, yeah. Well, today's Monday, and just like every Monday, it's just, it's more of meetings and catching up from the weekend. And I think the worst thing about working from home is that everybody's working from home right now. And so there's no real break, you know? I have students who are getting onto Google Classroom and doing things at like 9 o'clock at night and asking questions at 9 o'clock at night. And while most of the time I ignore it and I just wait until the next morning to reply to them or, respond to their questions or whatever, it's still there. It's still happening. Or the fact that, people email you on Saturday about something and, you check your email to just kind of make sure that you're okay, like everything's fine. But then, everybody's, you have to kind of like keep it in the back of your mind that, oh, you need to reply to these emails. And so just working at home can be a little bit overwhelming because there's just so much that's happening. And, you're home. So you feel guilty about being like, oh, I don't have the time. But also, you do have the time. But also, you don't. And I'm a single person who lives with a roommate and 2 cats. I can't imagine how anybody's doing this um, with like children or taking care of somebody. So props to you. This must be very overwhelming, and I greatly applaud you and your efforts for doing this because it's overwhelming for me. And I'm teaching music, so I can't imagine the pressure of like teaching math or something like that, where it's like, oh, I feel like we need to really get this done, or else nobody's going to learn anything from math. So that's got to be a lot. So today just kind of been slightly overwhelming day. Some days during this remote learning process, I could just kind of sit back and all day and kind of like push things off, or um, only work on one thing or something. But today has just kind of been like switching between all the tabs and making sure that you're just like, oh, I'm doing this, but I also need to do this. And then an email pops up and you're like, oh, well, I need to respond to this. And what was I working on again? Oh, yeah, okay, cool. I need to grade this and I need to grade this here. And then I also need to grade that there. But yeah. And Charmaine says, I feel overwhelmed, but sometimes I feel like I don't have the right to complain. Yeah, I feel that, because like I said, it could be worse. It could be worse. But it's a, I think it's okay to be overwhelmed and to kind of gripe about it a little bit. Um, One thing that I learned, I don't know, in high school or so, was that everybody struggles while everybody struggles and while they're happening, and some you may consider to be worse than others. You know, um, it's still pain. So if I stub my toe and I'm like in pain because I stubbed my toe, it really hurt. But I have a friend who broke their ankle. They're also in pain. You know, we're both in pain. It's different types of pain, and one will go away, and one will or they'll both go away, but one will go away faster than the other one. Um, but um, but both people are still in pain. So it's just we can't compare pains for a while. It's hard, like I said, it's hard to be overwhelming, or it's hard to be in a spot where we are now. Um, but we can do it. Pain is subjective. Yeah, I like that, Mom. Pain is subjective. Andrew says, "Yeah, I'm overwhelmed and I'm the best off compared to my other colleagues. Also, sleep has ceased, basically. Hey, get some sleep. I feel that. I have not been getting as much sleep as I need to lately, but it's happening. Um, yeah, yeah. Hey, but we're almost done, guys, fellow teachers. We're almost done with this remote learning thing. Just keep pushing. I don't know how many weeks you might have left, but we'll do it. We'll do it together. Oh man. So yeah, we'll do it. We'll be okay. But just remember that your pain is still pain. Um, Even if you feel like somebody's pain is worse, you are still in pain. Even if you feel like you're struggling through something, it's still happening. And we're all here for each other. Something I have to remind myself of too, because it's just not something that I'm accustomed to remembering. Anyway, reality is setting in. Um, yeah, reality is setting in for me because next week is essentially our last week of school here in Lincoln, and I'm switching out of the Lincoln public school system, so I have to do a lot of stuff to get ready and get out of the system. So yeah, so I just found out today that my email, which I wasn't sure how long I would have my email for after the school year ended. But I then found out today that I will have my email up until like the day that I hand in my computer, which will be next week Friday. And then I will not have that email anymore. So now I'm a little bit like anxious about how am I supposed to reach out to people if they have questions, or if people ask me questions, what kind of email are they going to get back? Am I going to get anyway? So I have all these questions that are going on in my head about the switching this jobs thing. So it's a interesting deal, very interesting deal. Um, so yeah, just one more thing. Stuff's getting real. Um, the end of the school year is daunting. It's actually funny. I put in my weekly check-in form. Every week I do a Google form with my students to just kind of check in with them and see how they're doing. And one of the questions that I included about, or for this week, was what's one word that you're feeling as we wrap up the end of the year? One way to describe um, what you're feeling. And a lot of them have put like not positive things. I thought a lot of them would be kind of relieved that remote learning is coming to an end, blah blah blah. But a lot of them are like nervous and a little like anxious, sad. A couple of them, like my fifth graders, are leaving their buildings, so they're not like too excited to be done with this. So it's definitely an interesting perspective for them. So yeah, but it's an interesting process for sure. Almas, do you think students will reach out to you after the school year? I don't know, but with all the confusion of things that's happening right now, I don't think it's necessarily students that will reach out to me after the school year, but maybe parents who have questions about an instrument or things about next year or something like that. So just trying to figure out the best way to deal with that. It's a very interesting process. Um, I mean, and a lot of the teachers that I work with, you know, most of them aren't leaving, so they're thinking, oh yeah, well, what can I do maybe with my students to get them engaged over the summer, and they're not holding Zoom meetings with them or anything like that. We're not allowed to, but A lot of them were like, "Oh, well, they have access to Google Classroom." Well, my students have access to Google Classroom because I won't be in the system, so I won't be teaching, so I won't have, you know. So it's just some things of juggling around in my brain trying to figure out. So it's a very interesting process. But yeah. Today's weather doesn't help with my thoughts today either, but it's cloudy and kind of cold. It's probably like 55 degrees outside or so. So that's helpful. Um, but yeah. Anyway, I don't want to like drag you guys down with my thoughts, but I know that sometimes it's overwhelming to deal with things on your own. And sometimes just speaking those things out loud to people helps. So if you're struggling, reach out to somebody, talk to them, um, because we only paint the pictures of ourselves. Charmaine told me this earlier. Um, people only paint the pictures of themselves that they want to see. And so if you are struggling with that, you know, then reach out, paint a realistic picture, or ask somebody else to paint one for you, just to kind of help out with that. But anyway, to try and lighten up the mood just a little bit, let's do some dad jokes, shall we? Let's see. I'll get my laugh track here because that's important. It's very important. All right. So, today, this is funny. I'm just going to read it. Today, my son asked, "Can I have a bookmark?" And I burst into tears. 11 years old, and he still doesn't know my name is Brian. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Oh, here's a classic one. How do you make holy water? You boil the hell out of it. Oh, I forgot to. I was waiting for the laugh track and it didn't happen. There it is. There it is. Oh boy. Did you know that the first French fries weren't actually cooked in France? They were cooked in Greece. Hello. There you go. The Secret Service isn't allowed to yell "Get down" anymore when the president is about to be uh, is about to be attacked. Now they have to yell "Donald Duck." Oh boy. I also welcome these dad jokes, Charmaine. This was pretty great. All right. What do you what do you call somebody with no body and no nose? Nobody knows. Oh man. All right. Couple more. All right. What? No, so that I ordered. Okay, so you know how everybody's been doing a bunch of online ordering and all that. Well, I ordered a chicken and an egg from Amazon, and I'll let you know. Oh boy. Okay, these ones today were actually pretty great. It's kind of yesterday was kind of hit or miss, but today's have been actually really funny. It's good to have a smile on your face one more time. Alrighty, well, everybody, have a great day. Share some of these dad jokes with somebody else and make them smile. Um, so yeah. And I'll see you tomorrow in quarantine for another episode of Today in Quarantine, which I think today is 52. I think. I've kind of been doing this all in my head lately, so I have no idea what is going on. Um, maybe it is 53, but hold on. Thursday will be whatever multiple of 7 we are on. So 56, 56, 55, 54. Oh, this is 53. Is this 53? Okay. All right. Well, I'll figure it out soon. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.